Was last night more about Golden State or more about the Raptors?
Be honest.
It was more about the Warriors. You know, give those guys credit. They showed it. And Klay mentioned this, Skip, even though they lost. He says, I think we'll bounce back and show the character of a champion.
That was after game one.
After game one loss.
Yep.
Draymond was unbelievable again. He was 1 assist away from a triple-double. Steph played with Steph. Boogie Cousins gave him tremendous minutes after only played, 8 minutes in game one and really being a non-factor. 11, 10, and 6. He played really, really well. Iggy did Iggy. If you notice, Skip, they did something. They switched it. Now, all of a sudden, they don't put Iggy on Kawhi. They let Klay take Kawhi.
Some, not all, but some. It was more and more Klay.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yes.
Until he goes down and out.
But Skip, I think the biggest thing what happened was in the first quarter, because Toronto really had it going, and no one could make a shot for the Warriors except one guy, and he was the guy that kept them attached, and that was Klay.
He was sensational.
I mean, there were times that they passed him the ball, and the ball had barely touched his hands, and it was up in the air. And it was 4-3.
Somebody picked Klay to be the MVP of the series, but I don't know who that was.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, I forget.
It's not your turn. It's my turn.
Go ahead.
This is about the Warriors
Thank you.
now, and Klay
keeping
them attached. And I thought another thing that they did, Skip, even though they were not getting shots to fall, they found a way to get to the free throw line. They shot 13 free throws in the first quarter. They shot 19 in the first half.
And missed 3, but go ahead.
They missed 3, but they were able to get cheap points and keep the Raptors from running away from this ball game because the crowd was electric early. They had shots falling. Kawhi was doing what Kawhi was doing early on, and so you're like, okay. But Klay's like, nah, I'm not gonna let you guys run and hide. And it was
it killing you? You just thought you got it. You
I didn't got it because I've seen this before. I remember watching this play over game 3 last year. Klay and Steph are cold, and KD can't miss. And even though they're up big, you're like, man, I don't feel comfortable. And I'm sure the Raptors and their fans felt the very same way as I'm feeling sitting there watching the game, knowing that a game that you're up 3 or 4, you really should probably up by double digits, considering how poorly they're shooting the ball from the field. But Klay kept them attached, and then Steph all of a sudden found a way to get to the free throw line. And what was it? Late, 4 minutes left in the second quarter before Steph scored his first basket from the field.
Yep.
And then he goes boom,
boom, boom, boom.
And then the next thing you know, so you're feeling good.
Only 5 at half.
That was at 1.12. And that's what they do. That's what's so demoralizing, Skip, is that you have an opportunity. You're like, we're up 10, we're up 12, we're up 15, and we're 2 minutes from the half. We're about to go into the half with a double-digit lead, feeling really good about ourselves. And the next thing you know, no, you're not. You're going into the half with a 5-point lead, and the Warriors are saying, as bad as we played, as good as they played, they're only up 5. Let's make this run. And we saw what happened in the second half.
You finished?
I'm finished.
Good. It's my turn. You actually made a few good points that I'm going to give you, but you obviously missed the biggest point, which I will get to in just a moment. But my favorite post-game quote came from the mouth of Steph Curry, who said, "Our DNA showed up. They got championship metal." Whatever you want to call that stuff that's inside them, it just manifested itself right on schedule when they were 12 points down. Obviously, DeMarcus Cousins saved them, saved the whole night after Kevon Looney went down.
Yes.
And in some ways, I think Kevon Looney is even more valuable than DeMarcus because Kevon Looney is a much better pick-and-roll defender than DeMarcus, and he's a much better pick setter than DeMarcus. But DeMarcus can flow with the basketball. He can steal the basketball.
And a better rim protector.
And he can rim protect, and he can rebound. He's a mountain of a man, and he withstood. In fact, you look at your Gasol stat sheet. He just erased Gasol last night. So I will give you that, but that was the miracle is that DeMarcus Cousins has returned from a torn quad, not a ruptured, but a torn quad, just 7 weeks after he did that on April 15th. That's a miracle. But the painful irony is that number 2 is now in Toronto simply because a year ago he missed 73 games with a bruised quad. So one guy has a torn quad and miraculously returns to play 28 minutes last night. And wait a second, number 2 misses 73 games with a bruised quad. And finally, San Antonio is forced to throw up their hands, if not their lunch, and say, okay, we got to ship him out.
Look,
right?
I thought that was not the question.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that's the great irony to me. The subplot of the game is DeMarcus somehow miraculously returns just 7 weeks after he tears his quad.
Maybe he had a severe strain.
Oh, well, maybe. But I've never seen anything like it. It's like a go figure to me.
Sometimes a high ankle sprain is worse than a broken ankle. You know that, Skip.
Okay, and then to finish your positive points, obviously Klay was sensational. Klay goes down. And our man Quinn Cook, who loves Undisputed, our man Quinn Cook makes 3 huge threes, and he stepped right into them and all gutsed them right down the drain, right? 3 times. Those were huge. That helped fill the Klay void. And then how about my man Iggy? Was that not a dagger of a 3? Are you surprised because he was a Finals MVP? Right. He's got championship DNA running through him. Right. If you dare him to shoot that shot, he will take and he will make, right? Yeah. Okay. Now, that's all the good stuff that happened last night, but now let's get to what really happened last night, or should I say did not happen. Because despite all of the above, the Golden State Warriors won Game 2 without scoring a single point from the 5:39 mark of the fourth quarter all the way down to 7 seconds. So they go 5.5 crunch time, clutch time minutes. 5.5 minutes. They don't make a free throw. They score 0. This is the highest scoring team in the NBA this year. They score 0 from 5:39 all the way to 7 seconds, and they stole Game 2. Why was that, Mr. Sharpeadamas? Why was that?
You know why it was.
It was because number 2 came up small in Game 2 down the stretch. He puts up great stats. What was he, 34? And we're going to talk about that a little later.
34 and 14.
34 and 14. Okay, I give you all that. But the point is, I keep telling you, he is fragile physically and mentally. He is not that guy with the game on the line. He is not a clutch closer. He never was for San Antonio. He needed Van Vliet to close Game 1. And last night, when he needed Van Vliet, nobody else showed up. And he definitely did not show up. Can I count the ways just to specify what I'm talking about here? Thank you very much. So, number 2 sits out the first part of the fourth quarter, and he comes back on the floor with 8 minutes to go. And from that point on, he goes 0 for 3 from 3. He missed threes at 7:14 left, 5:54 left, and 2:48 left. Those are 3 big threes.
He did.
If you could make 2 of those, you're probably going to win the game. That's
make
just
one of them and maybe changes the momentum.
He had a crucial turnover, did number 2, with 2:18 left, where Draymond got his hand on the ball. And it's a big possession where it looks like they're seizing momentum because Nick Nurse, to his credit, had gone to this box and one on Steph, and Steph couldn't get a shot off, and there's no Klay to take the heat off. And all of a sudden, Golden State cannot score. Now, he had 2 scoring plays, did number 2, and they were both highly controversial and questionable.
He didn't travel.
First one, 6:38 left to go. If we could see this. He gets away with firing an elbow right into the chest of Draymond and just knocking him out of the way. And then he continues with his elbow and he knocks Bogut out of the way. And he comes all the way down to the floor. Oh, wait a second. That's called traveling because he hasn't even shot the ball left. And then he throws the ball up off the glass and it goes in and they go, and one.
Yeah, one.
And one.
And one.
What?
And one.
It's elbows to chest. That's a blatant offensive foul / travel. I don't know. It's one thing or the other to me, and I'm saying, what? How can you get away with that? So that's 3 of his 6 points in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
Then let's go to the last play. This is 1:08 left, and this resulted in a technical foul on Steph Curry because he starts to drive the basketball, and DeMarcus reaches in and cleanly knocks the ball straight out of number 2's hands, right into Steph Curry's hands. And Steph's preparing to go the other way when the whistle blows, and he just kind of hot dogs it and just heaves it into the rafters.
Can you do that?
You cannot do that.
Okay.
I agree. It is globetrotter hot dogging. Okay. It's like Steph is trying to be too cool for school, and as the ball just touches his hand and he hears whistle, on his follow through, he just throws it into the rafters, and you open the door even further. So now number 2 goes to the line. I'm going to give you this. He went 16 for 16 from the free throw line. That's really good. Like really, really great good. Great good. Okay. And he makes 3 in a row. That gives him 6 points down the stretch. But that's not enough because in the last minute and a half, he has 2 two-point shots, 2 from 9 feet. Both of them with 1:31 left and then with 31 seconds left. He's got 2-point shots, and he missed both of them. They're huge. We can't just sweep this under your little carpet over there that you keep all your bad stuff under.
No.
You know, he missed both of them.
He did.
So he missed all 3 threes and 2 twos in the last minute and a half. Now we get to the play of the game. This is the turning point of the whole basketball game for me because with 10 seconds left, Steph is trapped, and he dribbles out of the trap over in the left top corner, right? So he dribbles out of the trap, but he's careening into the middle of the floor, and he is losing his balance. And he throws up or tosses up a pick-6 pass in the direction of Sean Livingston. Am I right? It's just a lollipop. It's like, what are you doing? As soon as it left his hand, I said, uh-oh, number 2's going to intercept that and go the other way and dunk it or and one it, and it's either going to be tie overtime or Raptors win, and number 2's the hero. Yeah. It is a 50-50 ball, and the shock of the night to me was that Sean Livingston beat number 2 to the basketball. This is, according to you, the best perimeter defender in all of basketball. Yeah. This is the best two-way player in all the playoffs.
But what I also told you.
Okay.
What did I also tell you?
I don't know.
Yeah, he hurt. The tendonitis in his knee.
Now we got the injury excuse.
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
He did not limp one time last night. I didn't even see him wince or grimace last night. I don't know. Well, maybe I watched the wrong game, right?
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.